Greetings, everyone. Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. I hope you read the title. All right. Let me just flip the chat room here real fast. My co-host is sick. She's been sick for a while. She's got a lot of serious problems. I know we show everybody that she's radioactive, and I don't think anybody believes it or not. But seriously, it's pouring here. It's a lot of rain outside. I can't cover up that noise. If you hear the noise in the background. When it pours here, it pours really hard. So I want to get into a bunch of things today pertaining to UFOs and aliens. Truth. Not that many people talk about it. Now, I join just about every site. I pay for a lot of things, people. I'm not asking for money from anybody, but I pay for my Skinwalker Ranch site, my Richard Dolan site, just so I could communicate with people in there and put things up in there. Not that they're ready for truth. I mean, if they're following these kind of people, they like partial truth, little bits and drabs of this, that, and the other thing. I've been trying to get in touch with Luo Zando, who's probably one of the big main speakers in the UFO world right now. Over a year, never got one reply. I joined Richard Dolan's site so I could put comments in there. Not that he ever directly got back to me. All right, the Skinwalker Ranch, I'm trying to get in touch with any of the big people, even the person that owns the ranch. But I don't know, is it they're just afraid to deal with the truth? They're happy with their little drips and drabs that they feed the public and put out there. But there's books and books and books coming out. I'm a rebel. I don't agree with 99% of the people in the UFO world. Sorry, they're all telling stories. They're all feeding you half-truth. And they're putting their 2 cents in what they believe, which is useless to the people, us, the normal people. All right, we're going to go into weapons today as well, because that's basically why aliens are here. And that's why we deal with them. Whether people want to understand the truth, find the truth, or whatever, I'm putting it out there, people. If you're listening to this show, please forward it to everybody you know that might even have a bit of concern about UFOs and aliens. I've been involved with this all my life. I've been called crazy half of my life. Being involved with this stuff does make you go crazy at times because you never know when to expect something weird to happen. I had so many experiences in my life. I don't think there's too many people on the planet that even come close to as much as experience that I have and did the work that I did do in the UFO world. I mean, I lectured with Sergeant 18 from 1996 to 2002, and we went around the United States. I've been doing shows with T.J. Morris for over 12 years. I'm doing a show with Tina Bird, who's sick today, for 2 years. But we don't deal with lies, and I don't bring people on that like to tell stories. All right, and there's a reason for that. I don't want to be responsible for feeding the public people stories that are complete lies. That's not going to help them or even understand what's going on. I don't know where we should start in this, but the old UFO stories like Roswell and things like that, even that's not even told to the ultimate truth. 3 ships were shot down, and they only talked about one. After all of these years, they only talked about one. I'm not going to go into the details about that, but there were 2 other ships that were actually shot down. Now, they did recover at least 1 ship, I know. I'm not saying they recovered all 3. One of them, the alien was actually saved and brought back up. But that was in the 50s we started dealing with that. Truman and Eisenhower are responsible for just about everything that's going on today. Truman, main person, because he started it all. All right, did he believe in UFOs and aliens? Of course he did. He had to deal with it. He created a group, organization, which became the most powerful, I would probably say, on the planet of people. And it's called MJ-12. And now it's MJ-32 because there's more people that came into it over the past 50 years. But they're responsible for blocking, covering up, and hiding any important information. while dealing with it at the same time. Now, they're part of the government, they're part of the UFO world, part of the war program world. So when $720 billion get put into it, they take a big piece of it to do what? Well, when they cover up something, it costs a lot of money. Moving people, killing people, changing the land, uh, how it looks, and everything else. So, yeah, it's a lot of work they got to do. So, are they using it wisely? I doubt it. Because, here's another thing people that nobody talks about. Nobody. The government people, nobody. You ever wonder why? And this is a fact, people. There are super amounts of underground cities alone in just in the United States alone. All right. The tunnels go across the United States and they go to other countries even. You don't have to believe it. But pull up Jesse Ventura. Years ago, he showed where one is, how to get into it, and everything else about it. The biggest, whatever you want to call it, New World Order's home is right on top of one of the main entrances. It's got like a 6-foot wall. It's bigger than all the property around the White House. And it's the home. It just looks like a house, but with these army civilian people, or whatever you want to call them, guarding it and everything else. So there's a lot going on, and that's a long time ago already. So where are we going? Why does nobody really search out the truth? Because they disappear. Now, 2 people that I dealt with, one was T.J. Morris's husband. He worked for the highest part of the government. He said he flew the first UFO for the president. All right? He said that on his dying breath, the last month that he was alive. All right? He also said he killed 139 people for the government. And it's not like Stephen Greer, who claimed he was offered $2 billion to walk away from the UFO world, which is the biggest lie out there ever, because they wouldn't have to spend $1 billion. They wouldn't have to spend $1 million. They could get somebody taken out for nothing because that's their job, people inside the government. So, when we hear these people tell these stories, and what he's doing to the UFO world is going to hurt people more and more every day. There's a few other people, I'm not going to mention their names. I can't even say one of the people's names. I'm going to get into that. Where money goes with these millionaire people. One person, I'm not going to say his name, is building a super complex for UFOs to land so they can meet with the government. Do you believe that? He really thinks they're going to come down to his space city, land there, and wait to talk to people in the government. Why? That going to change anything? What about Russia, China, all these other countries? People with money have a serious problem dealing with truth. They got their own truth. They don't need anybody else's. They create their own truth. But sadly, it has nothing to do with spirituality, which I am very much into. I don't bring it up too much with Tina on the show because she's been abducted many times. She doesn't feel there's any protection for her or any help or anybody watching over her. So it's a little different when I talk when she's on the show. I'm sorry she's not here. I love her. I wish she was on. We don't agree on everything 100%, but she's a victim. A victim. I'm not a victim like she is. I cannot be abducted. I mean, I was next to an alien, I was next to a ship, and all those kind of things, but they can't touch me. I'm not going to go into that. Read my book, ask questions, email me, text me, go on Skype, talk about it. But I don't have too much time to get into it today. But okay, that's only one thing. My personal experiences is what I talk about, things that I talk about, because it's based on what I know is truth. UFOs are real. Aliens are real. Demons are real. Entities are real. Ghosts and spirits are real as well, people. And it's growing in awareness and proof every day. Reincarnation is real, whether you experience it, understand it, or know it. Karma is real. All these things determine where you are spiritually. And I'm going to say this before I get into all this stuff today. It doesn't matter about aliens. It doesn't matter about your family. It doesn't matter about the world. It only, and this is going to sound cruel, matters about you as a soul. Because when you become an aware being, which very few souls will ever in 10 lifetimes or even 100 lifetimes, do not come back to planet Earth again. Rising above reincarnation is the first step of spiritual awareness and becoming spiritual. Otherwise, you're coming back and starting all over in the same garbage. Looking at UFOs, looking at people, family, and thinking that this is so great being here. What? What do you accomplish in a lifetime? Well, I created a new invention. What? A two-sided spoon. I mean, whatever. Does it really matter? Are we moving forward in any way? Technology has nothing to do with spirituality. Technology is development of weapons in different forms, in devices that take away a human's ability to do something. Everything's created to make man's life easier. Well, man wants to just sit there and do nothing while everything's done, and he gets paid for that. You know, Jacques Cousteau, before he died, he did a special. First off, he showed all the contamination around the planet at every country. Then he went to the future of the world, and he showed a satellite with a head in it. He said, people of the future won't need a body because they just think and see, and they won't need to do anything. I mean, the only thing I guess mankind, and I call them the perversions of the mind, why man has to stay here and what they're attached and drawn to is the passions of the mind. Lust, greed, anger, vanity, and attachment. But I convert them to football, sports, drinking, drugs, sex, and cheap thrills. All right? Gives mankind a reason to live. For what reason? To drink, to smoke, to party, to see a football team. And you know, sports is a horrible idea. Almost all of them pertain to a ball. Small ball, big ball, metal ball, rubber ball. But it's a ball. And they play hours hitting or catching and throwing a ball. Does that sound like something important to mankind? And then when you see a sports show on TV, American anthem and things like that, they play before it. It's American what? Money taking away from children that could have food and nice clothes rather than go see a football game, baseball game? All right. What's this have to do with UFOs and aliens? A great deal. Now, I'm going to say things, you don't have to believe anything I say, which you probably won't. But I want you to search out truth for yourself and find it because it is out there. And the best way is find it out for yourself, meaning experience something. Sitting in your house and praying is not going to experience the truth about the outside world. The inside world, you can get into that. But most people don't even know how to do that either. I do workshops on that all the time, different times in the year, months. Anybody interested in truth, please. I'll do another couple spiritual shows in a row. But I'm going to start at the beginning, people, if you can go that far back. Now, time frames. Science will never determine exact time. Well, tree circles show how many years a tree is old. But how many trees are older than 10,000 years, 50,000 years, 100,000 years? All right. Now, time frame. A lot of things changed 2,000 years ago. But Buddha came out many years before that. All right. Teachings started way back when. When was that? The first religion was Hinduism. And they were praying, working with deities, which later became aliens, people. The Egyptians, the Mayans, the Aztecs, all worked with aliens. And they weren't given anything important, people. You could believe what you want. Listen to ancient aliens all the time. They'll tell you the same story over and over. The aliens had technology and they were using it. And it did not help anyone then. And it's not going to help anyone now. Everything the aliens have given our government has to do with weapons. We'll get into that. All these races came and went. And they believed horrible things. Why? Well, here's the facts, people. The oldest race on this planet was not one race. It was in Atlantis 100,000 years ago. All right? There were 9 races there. When it was destroyed, there was only 4 races left on the planet. All right. When that happened, it did a lot because, a lot happened because of that, because of aliens. They destroyed Atlantis. Why would they destroy Atlantis? Atlantis and the people of it? Because they were spiritual. I'm aware of all my lifetimes back to Atlantis, people. And if you can do it yourself, if you were back at that time, and you probably were in one of your lifetimes. But when the people were alive then, there was no killing, murder, rape, abuse. We didn't eat animals. We didn't have to do things super physically because we did had 32 psychic abilities then. And what happened? It was taken away. Spirit realized that mankind's going to destroy everything. When the aliens came, they said, we can't control these people. What are we going to do? Annihilate them. But 5 races that attained spiritual awareness already left. And they're code races, blue, purple, crystal, invisible realms. They all became higher realm beings, all right? They didn't stay in the astral plane. They didn't stay on Mars, Moon, Jupiter, or anything like that. They went to higher realms. Now, the word that gets confused and twisted for people is first, second, third, fourth dimension, sixth dimension. All right, in school and art, you learn first, second, and third dimensions and fourth dimension. And it's about drawing and how vivid the dimension of each object is and things like that. But when they talk about going into the sixth dimension, the physical reality has 12. Well, no, sorry. Okay, it's 3, 6, and 9. Each realm has 3. So there's 3 major realms, and each one of them has 3 realms within it. Science will never figure that out because they're playing in the first realm, which the first 3 realities are, which they call the 6th, 7th, and 8th dimensions. All right, for your awareness. These people dealing with that, well, they discovered that they can only discover what's part of that reality. They're not going into the astral plane. They're not telling you much about it. But CERN, CERN, is trying to get into the astral plane. They say go into the black hole, into a new dimension. It's still part of this reality. But this reality is slowly merging to the lower part of the astral plane. And that's because of Tesla, because of the Philadelphia experiment, and what happened after that. All right, it opened the gateway, the doorway, for entities, creatures, and all that stuff to come into our reality. The government can't close it. And playing with time is the worst idea man has ever accepted. And it was Tesla's fault. This is a fact, people. You don't have to believe it. He was working with alien races. I don't know what race directly. He's talked about it. In his notes, he talked about it. And who comes out with 200 inventions that he actually copyrighted? He went to what school did he learn all that in? All right, he wasn't a genius, neither was Einstein. And what is a genius? Somebody that knows man-made formulas. Has nothing to do with spirituality or spiritual awareness, dealing with beings and entities and all the other things that are much more involved and important. Playing with symbols on this planet, playing with energy, speed, light, motion, things like that. Changing the weather, changing the structure of something, mixing chemicals, mixing animals, mixing plants, and mixing them all together even now, humans and aliens and animals and all that, has nothing to do with spirituality. So when people say scientists aren't going to prove anything important to soul, the true self within inside you, nothing. It's going to have nothing to do with that. And every time they come up with a new theory, even these people in the UFO world that claim the string theory and all these things, it's only theories pertaining to this realm. What you learn, what you experience and work with in this reality will not do any beneficial thing for you in the astral plane. I'm telling you. While you live here and reincarnate over and over, yeah, you can play with different kind of cars and ships and eat different kind of food, but it's not going to change anything important. You're still going to be in a body, and they're trying to immortalize the body so that they can stay here longer because they don't know where they can go when they let go of it. I'm not going to get into the religious teachings, spiritual teachings about that. Satan is real, people. Lucifer is an angel, not a demon. Get your facts right, people, but the Bible was twisted by man's thinking. It didn't even put down what Jesus was teaching. Sorry, people, you want the truth, the real truth. I put my life on the line. I pray to God. I live under God. Nobody else. Nobody else can tell me what to do, what not to do. Period. Sure, I try to listen to my partner and things like that. But again, the truth is, God is all that matters, people. Family, children. You know. Jesus spoke about that. If you even read the Bible, when Jesus said, leave your family, leave your children, leave them all behind. Why? Why would he say that? Think about it. Nobody in the Bible that reads it understands that even. Never mind what he was really teaching, because it's not in the Bible. His disciples didn't even understand what he was saying. Mary Magdalene had to finish teaching them all. So look, the truth's there. Whether you want any of it or not, it's a different story. But aliens were always here. They were here 100,000 years ago. They were 200,000 years ago. Sure, they brought creatures and beings and all kinds of weird stuff here. Like Bigfoot, Cooper Chopper Monster, Cooper Chopper, however you say it. Things like that. They were brought here. But so what? What good are they? No good. The alien people had pets. They let some of them go here. But when people like the Native Nation says they work with the star beings and Bigfoot has never done anything important for the native race. Neither have the star beings. The star beings are the Greys, people, if you want to know the truth about that, which they don't even care about. They think they protected them and helped them. How could you say 50? Okay, we're going to do this simple. 50. There were 50 million native people here 400 years ago. Right now, there's less than 1 million people that are full-blood native people here today. Does that sound right? Well, it is right, but it's wrong why it happened. So when you say you live in the United States, the most important, beautiful country in the world, we're the most horrible killers on the planet. That's why we're here. And I always say bad overpowers the good any day. Because bad people are great for using weapons. Good people are not. Weapons destroy. Fighting, even street fighting, is not going to kill somebody in general. So people, we live by whose laws? And when people talk about the Constitution of the United States, did aliens create it? No. A couple of rich fools created it that didn't like poor people. And we're supposed to accept that now. What do you think guns were in people's hands for, people? In those days, when George Washington was around, Jefferson was going across the bottom of the United States, killing every tribe he could. Right, guns were there. You know why? You got paid for killing native people. You got paid more for killing an adult. You got, based on our money today, it would be like $80 for a man, $60 for a woman, and $20 for a child. Scalp. That's where scalping came in, people. But you want the truth? No, you want to hear men. Well, we wouldn't do things like that. No, really? Why did they eliminate every tribe in the United States in great numbers? All right. Now, where were the aliens in all this? Aliens need one thing, people. Not your love, not your compassion, not your family, as like being friends with them. They need something that everything that moves and walks and has a heartbeat. It's called food. That's all anything needs that's alive. A tree, a plant, they need water. They release air. They take in carbon monoxide. All right, different creatures and entities do different things, but they all need something to survive, pertaining to some form of food. Aliens are no different. When you talk about ghosts, spirits, and entities and things like that, then it's a different story. And now you got all the fools coming out saying, famous people now. Well, I can't even deal when I hear what these people say, that aliens are demons. No, demons are you that brain dead, people? Not people, the people that are saying that, writing books and books on top of bull. Now, this person hates me. He was in Hawaii. All right. He left Hawaii. He blocked me on his site. And all he talks about, he writes book after book about government programs. All right. Michael Salla. He's from Australia. Australia has the biggest army base on the planet. And I write to him, why don't you talk about your own army base? What are they doing? Nobody knows. It's top secret. It's run by the British and the United States, and it's in Australia. Pull it up. It's there. You can see pictures of it. Can't get inside. Don't know what's going on inside it. But Australia always has a lot of weird stuff going on. All around Australia are the biggest earthquakes all year round. Why is that? What are they doing? Well, the United States is doing fracking, geothermal. Nobody talks about that. Never mind playing with the HAARP system, chemtrails. And now CERN's going to destroy a lot of the planet as well. We're playing with toys, dangerous weapons. You know the story about men. The only difference between men and children is the price of the toys they play with. The faster they move, the bigger they are, however you want to look at it. But that's what the difference is. No different. Men still plays with the same toys. Rocket, spaceship, all those things. To do what? Think they're going to colonize other countries on planets around the universe? When do you think that's going to happen? And do you think aliens are going to let that happen anytime soon? They destroyed all the races that were here. You ever wonder why? I mean, pyramids and all that have nothing to do with anything important for the human race, that's for sure. Well, how'd they build them? Does it matter? You're going to build pyramids now and live in a pyramid? Each person going to have their own pyramid? No. Why did they build a pyramid? One person had an ego. One person had power. All right. Embalming and all that was wrong. They didn't know how to do it. Aliens taught the Egyptians the wrong techniques. None of them were real. They just said, these are a bunch of fools. Let's give them toys to play with and destroy their bodies, which they did. Smashing the drawer, taking their brain out of there, cutting their skull open to reincarnate back into that body. Delusional. And they believed it. They did it. You follow Ancient Aliens, you follow those shows, they cut a lot of the important stuff out. Well, the pyramids could have been this, and I believe it's that. I believe it was this, and it pulls in the energy, and it lines the energy around the planet. So, what do you think the HAARP system does? What do you think it's relating to chemtrails? But is it going to help man? Of course not. Nothing man does is beneficial to the human race. Why is that? In 100,000 years, after Atlantis was destroyed, we never created one spiritual thing. On top of that, we created murder, killing, sacrifice. The arena fighting went on all through history. People love to see people get killed. Now, people can beat people up and get paid for it, but you can't do it when you're not getting paid for it in our society now. Something I think is pretty stupid. All right? Either outlaw one or make it legal to beat people up both ways. You know, and carrying guns and all that. Guns are to kill. They're not to make friends and be all those other things. They're to kill. Even in the cowboy days, it lasted about 60 to 80 years. People walk around with guns shooting each other, and then they put an end to it. But was it beneficial? Of course not. Is any weapon beneficial to any human race? No. Unless you're an egotistical power maniac fool. Putin. I could go into his details. He's working with aliens. At least he says he is. He wanted Trump to come out with the truth about it. And funny, the day after he met Trump, Trump comes out with the Space Army, which was already in existence. He just gave it a new name. But, you know, people take credit. Trump doesn't even believe in aliens. So, you know, I know nobody in Congress wants to talk about aliens, at least right now. Nobody's going to admit much about him, what they're doing with him, because most of them don't know. Take every person in Congress, put them in a room, and give them a test, a normal brain IQ test. What is the HAARP system? What's geothermal? What's fracking? I bet you not one of them can give you a good answer what any one of those things are. Ask him what Tesla invented. Free energy. Yeah, what else? He's working on doomsday weapons and earthquake machines. He was doing a lot of damage. The aliens gave him technology to destroy the planet, not make it better, people. Free energy is not going to be our answer for anything. Why got a car that runs on a battery? How do you charge a battery? With electrical energy. How's that made? People, you listen to who? What scientists? It's like an egg is good this year, an egg's dangerous next year, and then a year after, eat 2 eggs, it'll make you live longer. They keep changing whatever they want to fit whatever they feel like doing. I can't get into the virus thing because I'd be thrown off the air. I'll lose my show completely. I got a warning already. So, yeah, I can go into things that'll blow your brains out if you want the truth, but you don't. I'm only giving you small parts of it, and you probably can't deal with that. I wonder why. All right. People, if you want to come on a show, you got something to ask me or anything, please do. I'll put the link up if you're interested. But if not, I hope you get something out of today. But I'm giving you information that very few people talk about. A friend of mine, Sean David Martin, wrote a book called Sands of Time. He's working on his last book. Hopefully he'll live to finish it. He's very sick. They let him out of jail because he was dying. Got cancer really bad, going for treatments now. But he's one of the most intelligent, smart people on the planet. Seriously. Why is he in jail? Because he was too smart. He discovered Area 51, people. Not anybody else, no matter what they tell you. When I first met him many years ago, he was having a van going up there and filming the mothership come in every twice a week. People, do you know that? That's real, people. So they bought all that land so nobody could get near it. And then they made it to protect it. But, before it was protected, people could see it. And Joe Schmo didn't discover it. Peter Pan didn't discover it. Sean David Martin did. All right. Now, all these UFO people coming out, Lear saying that he was all these high things. They show video of him being a janitor. I'm not saying he didn't see information. Being a janitor, you can go in rooms, like even in an autopsy and things like that. You got to go clean up the room and stuff. You can see bottles and blood and all these other things. But where's it going with the truth about aliens? Nowhere. Again, MK12, make sure nothing important gets out. So when Stephen Gray goes on and talking, he can't be releasing much important stuff because all he's pushing now is talk to aliens. They'll save the day. No, they won't. Why do you think they're here, mister? Why do you think they would come down to talk to you or your people? Why? What are they going to say? Now, the other word which we talk about a lot on this show is experiences. People that stand up in their bedroom and have this giant trip in space and then come back and say these aliens showed them all this stuff. Funny, not one person, I know one, ever came back with anything important, any solid proof of anything, and they go on about these incredible stories. I call them programmed fools, people. Experiences. Abductees is being abducted, which is what it really is. Taken without permission. And then they screw around with your body. Sometimes they bring you back. Sometimes they don't. They love to be around war, people. Every war, there's alien ships around. I promise you that. Every alien army base, every army base, there's an alien base near it. They monitor everything that's going on this planet, people. Good, bad, or indifferent. If they were loving people and had power to do anything, they could eliminate guns, eliminate war, eliminate a lot of things. Watch the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still. The first one. Not the second one, the first one. It's old. It was made in 1952 or 51, but it was my favorite movie. But it was about an alien race coming here and saying, you've got one chance. If you don't change, the world will be destroyed. And there were ships all around the planet. All right. So what do you think is going to happen, people? What do you think aliens are really here for? They're not saving the planet, and they're abducting lots of people, more and more and more. And all these UFO people say, aliens are good. There's no bad aliens. What planet are they living on? well, have never been good to the human race, and there's no reason for them to. They're thousands of years advanced than us. It's like going back to the caveman days and trying to teach them to fly a plane, all right, that doesn't even exist. Really? What good would that do? No good. So when people talk about stuff, about pyramids and how they built them and why? They never came up with a really important reason. Well, it changes the grid lines. Our grid lines are changing right now, people, tremendously. The whales are suffering. The dolphins are suffering. A lot of creatures in the ocean are suffering. Animals are suffering. I don't know if you know, for the past 25 years, herds of animals are dying, and they give it a name. What? Cow disease? Linda Moulton Howe, a delusional, I shouldn't say a delusional, but she has her own story that she created and believes. She can't even tell you what cattle mutilation is really about. I can. Why can't she? She's been in it 40 years on every show and this, that, and the other thing, claims she goes everywhere and can't prove one thing about it. I had it happen where I was living 3 times in 3 months. I saw it happen. I saw everything going down. She can't even say that. And she's a UFO, I would call her a baloney bender. But telling the truth about what? Nothing. She finds other people's stories, puts them out there. She put a bunch of fake stories out recently as well. So, people, you want the truth? Don't go to a UFO conference. You're going to be fed so much false information, so many stories, whistleblower after whistleblower. And what do they got to prove it? All these people. Did anyone, I could say certain things, but not publicly, but did anybody walk an alien into the room and let the alien say hi to everybody? If they're good, have the ship land in front of the hotel and let everybody go on it, take a trip, or any of those things? If they were good, don't you think that would happen? Watch the movie V, the TV series. It was on for 6 months. It goes into that in great detail, how it could go down if that was what was really happening. They claim to be good for how long? Until near the end. So we say there are good and bad in everything. No, there's no such thing as good and bad in everything. We are what we are. Cats, lions, tigers, bears eat and hunt the way they have to. Humans are the only creature that premeditate murder, killing, and desire it for pleasure. All right? Mounting heads on the wall and things like that. Why? Well, I killed it. Now, Trump's son likes to kill animals that are going extinct. A sick, perverted idea. He should be beaten with a rubber hose for I don't know how long. But people that do horrible things don't deserve to be in a normal situation. Rapists and murderers do not deserve to be in jail, having 3 meals a day, wearing clean clothes, being able to play sports and all that. In other countries, they don't get that. Bread and water people until they die. If they live till they get out, that's one thing. Most of them won't. Oh, that's cruel. Cruel to a rapist and a murderer. Cruel. Cruel to them. Really. While you eat a baby cow, put in a little bubble that stayed there until they kill it. It's called veal, and that's okay. Chickens, they cut the beaks off, the claws off. Some countries, they even take all the feathers off of them, too. And that's okay. You don't care how they torture things. When they torture people to get the truth out of them, oh, that's not fair. Really? If you get the truth out of a person, it's much more important than getting lies out of them. Now, I don't want to go into my details on that because I'm getting too far away from the UFO world. Aliens come here and take us. It's abuse what they do to humans. You can't move, so you can't complain about the pain and everything else. So when they implant you and all those kind of things, people, it's all real. Tina's implanted. I have never been implanted. I can't be touched by an alien. Somebody that thinks they can make that happen, go ahead and try to prove it. I'll tell you, I can't. all the experiences I had, I was protected every which way. I was 10 feet from an alien. I was maybe 15 feet from a ship. I stopped my brother from getting abducted. I don't know how many people can say that or even come close to even seeing it. So why do I do this show? Because there's more lies coming out every day, more speakers telling more great stories. But what about truth? Does anybody want any of it? I wish I could stay on and talk to you all day, but you would be bored after an hour. You'd probably be bored right now. Well, I don't want to hear that. I don't want the truth. I want to believe Joe Schmo telling his story. Muel Zondo. If he still has his clearance through the government, he cannot say certain things, and he can't. If he's no longer with the government, now I've just read 3 different articles. He is, he isn't, he is, he isn't. Either he is or he isn't. If he is, you're never going to hear the truth come from him. I've been trying to get in touch with him for a year, and he never responded once. And he's still talking about Tic Tacs. Sergeant Joe 18, who has disappeared, changed his name, and all kinds of stuff that I work with since 96. We film more UFOs, not Tic Tacs, UFOs. I'm talking about ships that travel at the speed of light and things like that. How do we do it? You use a camera that shoots 300 frames a second, and you watch it in slow motion. And that's how you get to see them. So people, there's things out there they're not telling you. Get a pair of night vision. If I had money, I'd buy a pair of night vision glasses. I'd be able to film so many things. I see so many things right now. And everybody in my neighborhood that I got to watch the sky are seeing UFOs and ships and everything under the sun now. And I got a lot of people watching the skies whenever they go out now. And there is so much stuff happening every day, every night. But it's raining most of the time now over me. So I don't get to see the sky as much as some days. I mean, in 3 months, I got to see the sky 2 nights in a row. But right now, it's raining every night, cloudy half of the night. Sure, it might clear up for a half hour, but when you got all night to determine when that half hour is going to happen, it's really hard. But when we talk about you want to see a UFO, it's easy. Go out at nighttime and watch the sky. Go out early morning before the sun comes up. Spend an hour or 2 looking at the sky. Can you do that? Probably not. The old saying, could you sit still and not think for 1 minute? That's even hard. 1 minute. When you're not looking at a clock and not thinking about it, it's super easy to go by hours. But when you're thinking about 1 minute, it seems like forever. And when you get older, all the time changes every which way. So, UFOs are here in great numbers around the planet. And why isn't it a big thing? Why isn't... Oh, this is what I wanted to get into, sorry. Why are there... Now, there's a new group of people the government created to investigate the UFO truth now. They did that a long time ago. They got a spokesperson that's supposed to talk to the aliens when they come here. Why do they think that an alien race would come to talk to their spokesperson? Are they useful to an alien? Of course not. They want to change the army, change the world. They can do it themselves. They don't need to talk to a president or a person in power. So why do people assume? You know what they're afraid of? I'll tell you straight out. Spiritual people. Because they can't touch them. They can't hurt them. But there's not that many spiritual people on the planet. I'm not talking about people that say they are. I'm a spiritual person. Really? I'm a 6-dimensional being. Really? What can you do? Now, people like Caroline Corey, who put out 2 movies, I think she's putting out her 3rd one, whatever it is, talks about genetic coding and breeding and half and all that, clones and all that. Like it's a good thing. It's not, people. It's not going to change your soul anyway. It'll change what you have as far as your ability of your body. But how important is that? Do you think people need more abilities to destroy? Which is what they will do. Psychic abilities were taken away for a reason. She claimed she could levitate a piece of paper. Really? Do it in front of me, people. Amazing Randy went around proving all these psychics were fake. So did Houdini. All right. So what are you going to do, people? Listen to these storytellers at the UFO conferences, the ones that go and come on our show and whatever. I show open to people that want to come on with truth but have something really important to say. That's hard to come by. Most people don't experience anything about aliens, really. So listening to stories is just that. Everything I'm telling you is useless unless you can prove it to yourself. Out of body experience. If you didn't have one, can't create one, it's useless saying, well, oh, that's a great thing. You can't say that. Until you actually left your body, can you actually talk about it? Aliens can go through things. We could when we had our abilities. The alien I saw went right through the door. I was with somebody else and we were watching Skype together, and these beings came right through the door. So, dematerializing for a couple seconds is a possibility in this reality. Is it beneficial to people that think they can do bad things? Because if you need to go through a door, open it and close it. All right. So you can walk into a bank and see what the combination is if you go invisible and all these kind of things. They're not used wisely, or they couldn't be used wisely now. Mankind doesn't think at any spiritual level, or the world would not be what it is today. The people in power are further away from the truth, and every rich person is 10 times further away from the truth. I just wrote a letter to Gates telling him, why is it rich people have no clue what spirituality means? Oh, I know what it means. What? Let's stop eating cows? Does that have anything to pertaining to the spirituality? Why were cows put here? People, I talked about it a couple of times, drinking roach milk and what is it? Cricket burgers soon. And that's all a real thing happening, people. Is that human thinking or perverted, twisted program thinking? Which is what the government's playing with. The HARP system can actually go into a person's consciousness. All right. And they don't talk about what it really can do. When Tesla was working on the idea, he didn't have anybody to talk to. He was a loner. I mean, he stayed in New York City for 10 years in a hotel room. Never came out. Whether they did something to him or not, probably. I don't know that part of it, but I know I saw his notes, and he did say he worked with aliens. You don't come up with 200 inventions that change every part of reality because you went to, what, Bailey Dickinson or some stupid college thinking you're becoming a super powerful brain programmer that can create reality. No, it's not real, people. Everything you're listening to, believing in, is lies. Why you're here, why you think you're here, is a program. Again, I'm going to say this, and then I know I said it to my partner, and different religions have all their programmed ideas. Soul, which is what you are, when your body dies, leaves the body. It doesn't turn into an alien, it doesn't turn into a demon. And if you're at least spiritual enough to leave this lower realm, you move into the astral plane. Now, it has nothing to do with your family, has nothing to do with your children, has nothing to do with the ocean, trees, or anything. But if you believe it's important, that's the tide that will bring you back here to reincarnate. All right. Aliens are not spiritual, people. None of them are. Technology has nothing to do with spirituality. Look at the things the Tibetan use today. They're not using advanced technology. They use a bell. They use a horn. They use simple things. We don't need a small spaceship, drones, and everything else under the sun. Mankind only can think about toys. And then its second thought is sex. So what's that have to do with spiritual growth? Nothing. What do you think aliens are here for? FOOD. Not our brains. They've had Tesla technology to change the world the way they want it. They need the world radioactive, people. They can't live here if it isn't. So the idea, oh, they stopped nuclear weapons for a couple. Well, it was just testing their abilities, probably like we do our testing. But do they want a nuclear war? Did they stop the first one from happening? Why not? The world needs to be radioactive, and parts of it are. I take my Geiger counter and drive up the road, and I see parts around here in Hawaii radioactive. They buried a lot of bombs underground right near the schools and stuff, and that's really radioactive when I go past there. Now, the other thing is, which is even more dangerous, is 5G, 4G. All right. Now, there's a science company, corporation came out with saying how, I'm not going to talk about it. I don't want to lose my show today. But there's facts coming out about 5G and how it relates to certain things like coronavirus. And the idea, the definitions are all lies about what a virus really is, how it spreads and how it lives and all that. But find it out. Pull up the facts. Pull up the real details, people. I'm not going to give you the truth. You got to find it. Because you don't believe it if I tell you anyway. If you find it, you leave your body, you'll understand that. If you don't, you'll never understand it. But aliens are here for a reason. And right now, there's so many ships here, something has to break. I mean, the earthquake chart, I'm just going to put it up 1 second. All right, let's see. El Salvador had a 5.0. Japan had a 5.4. Italy had a 5.5. I mean, they're happening everywhere. Yesterday it was 6 over 5. I mean, every day they're getting bigger. And it wasn't like this 10 years ago. And it wasn't even close to anything like this 50 years ago. So something's completely changing. Nature? No, it's not nature. Nature doesn't drill holes through itself and pour chemicals inside itself to blow it apart inside and things like that. We sent a bomb to the moon to try into one of the craters to blow something up in there. At least that's what they told us, and they never showed us or told us anything that happened. People, government and people in power are not run by anything good. Ego is not a good thing if somebody's using all their ego, like really rich people. All right, where are we going? Nowhere good. Do you expect something good to happen in the next 10 years? I look at it this way. I'm ready to leave this planet. I'm going to a better place. When you become aware of that, then it's not saying, well, I have to suffer in this world for infinity. These people that want to live forever. Imagine Trump and Gates being 150 years old, what they would be doing. How much money would they have? All the money on the planet? What would they have you doing? Realize, artificial intelligence was created by aliens, people, not by scientists, not by us. We just learned how to use it. Now, what artificial intelligence is created an energy that can think for itself. And they just proved it a couple weeks ago. Find it online. Proof of artificial intelligence, what it is and what it can do and where it's going to go. It'll eliminate all the jobs on the planet in time. People, do you understand that even? It's not going to go away. Any company, any business, if you had a little robot, big robot, to do everything you had 5 people doing, that would work 24 hours, day and night, and you didn't have to pay him anything, who would you rather have? Become a lot richer with the robot, won't you? A lot faster. Mankind is being more useless, becoming more useless every day. Cars that drive, planes that fly, everything that doesn't need you. So what do they need you for? To fix it? They got robots that can fix things now too as well. 90% of operations, major things, are done by half robots. Imagine with artificial intelligence inside it, what it could do. And we're getting close to that. China, Japan, and countries that are playing with the brain with artificial intelligence. Now cloning animals and humans together. What do you think they're going to create? What do you think they're going to do to the human body? What would you want to clone yourself to? For what reason? Grow a pair of wings so you can fly? All right. Your diet would probably have to change as well. So, people, are you looking at what's happening to the planet now? Do you follow the things that are changing? And do you really care? Pollution, but they lie about what pollutes things. They lie about what's causing the weather changing. So the truth of the problem is it doesn't get fixed, and you get more lies about how it's not getting fixed while they tell you where it is. Gates. No, sorry, not Gates. Gore. Al Gore. When he came out with global warming, he was paid tons of money to spread that rumor. And it was what was happening to the planet, not why, but things that were happening. To this day, nobody in government, in any of the fields that talk about weather control, weather, and all that free energy and stuff, talk about the problems, creating the problems that we have. Ocean warming, poison water, toxic air, radiation, all those things that are happening to the planet. Animals dying by millions and stuff like that. It was a freak accident. It always was. But now it's happening more and more and more. When 10,000 dolphins die, when 2 herds of elk just fall over dead, and when millions of birds just fall out of the air and flop on the ground, that's not normal. I mean, and you hear scientists say, oh, it was a gunshot. A gunshot? They didn't fly into each other. They all didn't hit each other. I mean, I was on a lake at night, and I was rowing my boat with a little motor and right into a flock of geese. They all flew up. Not one of them hit each other. And they had big birds, big wingspread. And it was like a thousand. So, birds don't just fly into the other. Fish don't just jump out of the stream and die by the millions. People, there's so many things going on that government won't tell you why or how come. In Jersey, when I was little, they called it the red tide. Then they said it was because they were taking all the chemicals and dropping them off out in the ocean that would form this red mass, and then certain tides would break it off and it would drift into the shoreline. Not because the sun and the algae, it was too warm, too cold. Natural things don't destroy the planet, people. Unnatural things do. I'm not talking about an earthquake, but see, spirit side of that, there's a reason why dinosaurs had to be taken out. There's a reason why different races are taken out. And the word is spiritual truth, that is where we're not going, where we should be going. What is the spiritual truth? You don't even want to know that. You want to believe in your fairy tales and your stories about a fake God, a fake this, or fake that. What do you think God does? What do you think God thinks? How do you think it looks? Where do you think it actually dwells? On planet Earth? You think it would live in hell? For what reason? Why are aliens here? Why aren't they being taken out? You need to ask yourself a lot of things that people will not answer for you. How many races are here? There's 9 races here right now. Sure, I know a really famous person in the UFO world died, but he said they were dealing with 47 races. Putin said he was dealing with 27 races. 2 of them want to destroy the planet. Listen to these people. I'm talking about dumb people. I'm talking about the most powerful people that can say something like that. He said it on Russian TV, Mr. Putin. 4 months before Trump was elected. Trump, I want you to tell the truth about 9/11, which nobody knows today. Why is that? He said, I want you to tell the world what happened at 9/11. Trump didn't do that either, did he? Well, he said, well, I want you to tell the truth about what we're doing with aliens and ships. They're doing drips and drabs, but they cannot tell you the truth behind it. What the United States government did with aliens. Yes, we worked with aliens and these UFO people. Well, there might be a real ship that can come here. What ignorant fools are out there, and people listen to that and believe it. I can't. I'm so sick of the UFO world being torn apart by liars, storytellers, ignorant, evil people, as well as just dumb people. When you get programmed, you believe the story. I did hypnosis when I was 14. I hypnotized everybody in my neighborhood. Had all my friends with a certain word, and I could put them unconscious. Seriously. And I proved it to everybody in the neighborhood. I hypnotized my friend and said, what do you want him to do? Anything he wouldn't want to do. I said, okay, there's a tree over there. It's a girl. I mean, we did that. I did it in public. I made my brother, I said, well, look, what do you want me to do? I made one person a Russian spy, and one person went to STEM. Oh, you set that all up. Anything I did, oh, it's fake. You know, when they don't want the truth, it's fake or it's a conspiracy theory. The only difference between a conspiracy theory and a theory is the amount of people that believe it. All right? If the whole world thought or knew Jesus was an alien, it would be a theory. It would be a true theory. But now, with all these idiot UFO people saying he was an alien, it's not provable and it's not even close to the truth. But some people accept that. Or aliens are demons. Most Christians say that. Because they can't face the fact they believe in angels, but they don't believe in demons. How's that? Like saying I believe in good, but I don't believe in bad. I believe in bad, but I don't believe in good. The world is deteriorating, people, and you're part of it, and you're responsible for that. You'd rather follow the wave going and crashing into the shoreline than going past the wave. You don't have to be sucked into it. You don't have to be pulled into this reality of hell. Aliens don't care. They just get more people to take. When there's a war, they get all those people to take. Ones that were dead and ones that weren't. When people go missing in the war, who knows how they went missing? They went missing. In the state parks, all these families disappearing. How's that? Nothing's done about it, people. There's a few books out on that alone. Read them. I'm not going to say might exaggerate certain things and stuff, but truthfully, parks don't have to list how many people disappear in the park in a year. They can find a car with no family in it. They can find things and stuff. There's no dead bodies around or anything like that. No one bear didn't eat the whole family. I mean, families come out and say their daughter was there. They turned around and their daughter was gone. Completely gone. Reality is real, people. Whether you want the real reality or you want your fake reality. Fill it with good people and good angels and everything else, and what do you got? Hell, because that's where you're living right now. Aliens are not going to make anything better. And when Stephen Gray goes, we all got to talk to them. Why? I'd rather talk to God than an alien, if it was possible. But talking to an alien, what are you going to get? A programmed robot from space? They're not here to help us, people, or they would help us. You know the difference? Here's a simple thing. I always say, you're walking towards the corner with your child, and the light's red, and your son still keeps walking. Do you let him keep walking, or do you stop him? Think about it. What do you do? He's in Mexico. All right. What do you do? Stop him. You don't say, well, let him find out what's good or bad, what's right or wrong. If we know what's right or wrong, why do we allow it? So a person could go through it? I mean, let a person murder somebody, then they can realize it's not a good thing if they get caught. And some people go on without getting caught for a long time. How many people die without getting caught? I know people say I speed every day and go through their whole life and never get caught. And they think they got over on society. You don't. Karma is a word that affects your soul. You didn't learn anything about spirit. Didn't learn anything about God. Didn't learn anything about leaving this realm. So guess what? You're a victim. You're a slave to this planet. People, you know, I do a lot of shows. I don't have a lot of people that like to listen to the truth because they all follow this person and that person and they believe this person. Let me just check. Hold on 1 second. I don't know if it's anybody important. I'm not going to answer. But let me shut it down. I'm still going over the hour. But here's people. I miss Tina. Her experiences are different than mine because she was on a ship and she was played with and all those things. They created children from her and all that. Her facts are much more important than 99% of the UFO people out there speaking about abduction. And she doesn't know everything. And she's supposed to do a live hypnosis session with. I wish I could be with her because, people work with hypnosis have no clue what they're doing either. I could do a whole show on that as well. 90% of the people that play with hypnosis have no clue what they do. 99%, not 90%, know about hypnotizing the soul, spirit, and entities and demons and all that. No clue. So I worked with it all my life. I'm going to be 70 in 2 months, people. All folks home. But look, I didn't want to stay here this long. And now watching people so ignorant at every level. I'm in Hawaii. You know how much crime goes on around my neighborhood? On top of all the UFO stuff every night and morning, the crime is crazy. I mean, I could have never put all this stuff together in my thoughts and said, well, I want this and I want that. No. It's not good stuff happening, people. There's nothing really good things happening on the planet. Every food you eat is becoming toxic. Every drug you take is making you sicker. What do you think? The last word, this is what you got to look up. And it's not that complicated. UN Agenda 21-30. It's real, people. It's where we are, what we're doing. We're in phase 4. All right? And it's about population depletion, complete one control, and all those things together. And if you can't put it all together, you really don't have a brain. Everything that's happening is happening for a reason. I can't go into the virus. Come and call me, talk to me on the phone if you want to get into that, but I can't do it here because I don't want to lose a show. Not that I can't find another one to do, but I got hundreds of saved videos here and everything else. But people, I don't do this show for money. If I lied to you, I could be rich. People like to pay for lies, but they won't pay nothing for the truth. How is that? That's how twisted the human race is. And most people don't want to change and, oh, I'm too comfortable. I got a house, I got 2 children, I got a swimming pool, I got a nice job, I got a nice bank account. Until their son gets sick and dies or something else happens, do they even think about anything else? Rich people don't care about poor people for any reason. When they pay less money, rich people only want more money. Not more things to do with it, just more money. I'll quote a Jesus phrase, which I heard him say directly, but he said it 3 times in the Bible alone. It's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich person to get into heaven. And I say that's incredibly important in this reality. The rich people are destroying it. Why? Because they don't care about the poor people. And the poor people can't go against the rich people. Why is it everybody in Congress and all those people are rich? Why don't we have poor people that care about life? People, we follow a system that's so unjust to the human race or the middle or poor class people. One state's going to make it a law that they have to have medical given to them. So, Canada did it. I remember when they raised the thing and said that they all had to pay $100 a year. $100 a year. People here in the United States lose their home, their families, everything because the money's taken away from them because they have to pay bills, medical bills, medicines. A medicine that cures a sickness is, you have to pay $70,000 for it. Wow. How much do they pay for a prisoner a year? $150,000? How much does a poor person get? $6,000 a year. Are those morals? Morals? People learn what the definition of morals are. I don't know where, because nobody knows what they are. And nobody believes in them anymore. The 10 Commandments were 10 laws to live by that didn't hurt anybody, and people think they're bad. People, you're becoming sicker. Why? What are you listening to? Playing a computer game where you kill people all day long? What's that do for your energy? Does that make you feel good? I mean, if they had gladiators on TV, you don't think it would be the most watched show on TV? The gladiator fighting and everything was okay, but imagine watching somebody kill somebody. In other countries like Thai boxing, I mean, it became kickboxing in the United States, but they fought until somebody died or was unconscious. Wake up. Wake up, people. Your time's running out. Not to be part of planet Earth, but to be a part and aware of what you are. What's going to be here after your body dies? And where you're going to go? What are you going to do? That should be important, because you could die tomorrow, you could die next year, you could die 50 years from now. But you're going to die. And then what? Then it's all over? You can believe that too if you want. Be an atheist. But people, the truth's out there. Send this video to everybody you know, please. Text me, email me, whatever. Skype, Hawksblood11 if you want to talk on Skype. Friend me and then we'll communicate. I've been trying to get in touch with these super famous people, but their ego is so big and what they preach is such a lie. It's incredible. Including Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, the Pope, all these people. Oh, pray for this. We pray for that. We're saving. Saving who? Nobody. Wake up, people. Time's running out. The world's crashing. And there's a lot of aliens here for a reason, people. A reason. All right. Till next week. Hopefully, Tina will be alive, safe, and much better condition to do a show with me. I could die tomorrow, too. Anything could happen. But please, people, look for the truth. Don't follow the lies. Feel it out. Take it from start to finish and see where it gets you. It won't get you anywhere. The lies, anyway. So that's Tommy Hawksblood. Please tune in again next Tuesday. I'm going to try to do a spiritual show sometime later on this week. I do a couple different shows, but this is my UFO day. So till next time, please, hawksblood1AOL.com. Text me, write me. If you know famous people that are in the UFO world, please. Tina's going to be with Luis Elizondo next year at a UFO conference. But that doesn't help me talk to him, does it? She was with all these people from Ancient Aliens last month, and she's doing a conference as well. But this is the only show you're going to hear the truth. The whole truth, nothing but the truth. I swear on God. I don't give out lies. I don't tell stories for no reason. I'm responsible to God alone. Not the president, the Pope, Dalai Lama, none of those people. I'm responsible to God. But you have to know God. And you have to know what God believes and what we're supposed to believe about it and what it is, really. Not the programmed idea of what God is. I'm telling you, it's nothing you think it is. And everything you think it isn't, it probably is. Peace, love, compassion. I see some people tuning in late. The show's recorded, so you can click on it and listen to it from the beginning. I feel it was okay. I put the truth out there, which I always try to do. Till next time, Tommy Hawksblood here. Signing out.